So, lads, one thing that I have noticed from quite a bit of the Fever footage is you can see, you can just see in general what the rotations are going to be. Again, the day one rotations do not matter. We can be honest here, day one rotations don't matter. But in the grand scheme of things, but based on the day one rotations, it does not look like Lexie Hull is going to be in a super advantageous position when it comes to the team. Like, well, the team's rotations and when she's getting in, when she's getting it, or how much she's going to be getting in. Because if you guys have not seen, day one, starter team. The first two subs were Bree Turner and Sophie Cunningham. Like, it was assumed that Sophie Cunningham was going to be first player off the bench. Like, Sophie Cunningham was nearly 6 Woman of the Year last year. So that was an assumption that everyone was making. However, when it came to Bree Turner, everyone assumed it was going to be Dantas. Kind of makes sense that it's Bree Turner, more of a defensive player. I mean, you've got offensive players all around you. It makes more sense to bring in a defensive player to kind of change things up, as she's much more of a different look to Boston than Dantas. But that was starter team. And I would have assumed that, starter team tomorrow or on day two was going to swap out Bree Turner for Dantas and then swap out Cunningham for Lexie. However, it didn't. Starter team swapped out swapped out Cunningham for Coulson. Swapped out Cunningham for Coulson. So it looks like that from day one is going to be the first 9 in the rotation. And again, look, does the team go 9 deep this year like last year? No, I think the team goes 10 deep. I do. I think the team in general is going to go 10 deep, potentially 11 deep, because at the end of the day, you are playing 44 games between the 17th of March and the 8th of September or something. You're playing 44 games in 3.5 months. The team's going to need deep rotations. There's going to be injuries, touch wood, none for the Fever. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be players missing games. Fever don't have anyone for Eurobasket, thankfully. There's going to be a whole bunch of things. And if you're looking at the Indiana Fever team, the fact that the bench ran the starters close was good. But with Lexie, in fairness to her, looked like she was getting some buckets. It looked like Lexie was getting some buckets, which she did not look like she was doing the first day, which is good to see. And she shot a pull-up. But again, I wouldn't be too worried about those type of things if you're looking at the footage of training camp. But Aaliyah hitting that shot right there, and Lexie again guarding Caitlin Clark, not an easy thing for anyone to do, to be fair. Nobody's going to guard Caitlin Clark and find it easy. Obviously Bree Hall letting Caitlin burn her to the basket right there. And Bree Hall was actually in the quote-unquote first 5 of the bench 5 yesterday, which is an interesting one again. But that rotation is not Lexie's fault off Caitlin, because you can't knock guard Dantas. But if you're looking here again, really nice backcut there on Caitlin. Made a layup. Then comes off being guarded by Coulson hitting a sidestep jump shot. So it's okay, yeah, that is what you need. That's what you need. And this isn't bad defense. This is just a good pass by Caitlin. That's just a good pass by Caitlin Clark hitting Sid Coulson or Kelsey Mitchell there on the cut. That's not bad. That's bad defense on whoever's guarding the cutter. But in general, when it comes to Lexie, I think to start the season, she's going to be at the same spot in the rotation she was start last season. 8-9 minutes a game. And then it's her job to play her way up. It is her job to play her way up. Because in the more footage that we saw from from 2 days ago, we saw Lexie really kind of struggle, it seemed. It did not seem like she was particularly comfortable in when they went full bench lineup. And it seemed like, obviously, on the offensive end, the bench looked a lot better today. Or a lot better yesterday. It's too early. I'm recording a bunch of videos before I check out of a hotel. But it did seem like her on-ball defensive on Caitlin Clark looked solid. But whereas yesterday when they were trying to switch and they were bringing in a new defensive system, it did seem like the bench five were really, really struggling. You saw them get lost in a lot of plays. Like nothing yesterday really. It was just a lot of good offense from the starters teams, to be fair. A lot of good offense from them. But yeah, so when it comes to Lexie, again, a lot of people kind of have too high hopes realistically for her. Like she was literally last in unrivaled scoring. Literally, she was last in unrivaled scoring. She got benched in the final of unrivaled. She had 1 to 2 good games, and on the offensive end, that's been the story of Lexie Hull's last couple of seasons. She'll give you 15 one game and 0 next game. But on the defensive end, in fairness, she can guard. She can guard. And one thing she's very good at is drawing charges. And you're not going to be drawing charges in training camp. So, like, if you watch her play, I've always said this, and I'm like, she's not the best on-ball defender. She's just a pest. She doesn't leave you. She tries to fight around screens. She draws a lot of off-the-ball charges. Her denial defense is crazy, and the amount of times people make contact with her and she'll draw a charge trying to get separation. Like, there's a lot of really positive things that Lexie Hull does on the defensive end. She's not necessarily locked down, but she's a very, very good defender. But at the same time, is that what the Fever need for 30 minutes a game? And I think there are people expecting Lexie Hull to play 25, 30 minutes a game this year. And I'm going to be honest, I could see her in the 10-minute range to start the season. Again, as the season goes on, you earn minutes and you lose minutes. Like, the day one rotations is not the game 44 rotations. It's not the playoff rotations. So it's not like she's going to be getting DNPs like she was under Christie Sides. Like, that's not going to be happening. It's absolutely not going to be happening. But I do think that if she's going to progress from 10 minutes to 20 minutes, maybe 25 a game, it's going to be, a lot of that is going to be the ability to hit the jump shot, the ability to make layups. Because, let's be real, she's not going to play the 1. And also, ironically, her minutes could be decided by Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson. If it turns out that Sophie Cunningham is playing a lot of minutes at point guard and Colson's gone out of the rotation, Lexie Hull could end up coming in. If Lexie Hull is much better than Colson could be the one gone out of the rotation. So yeah, I'd say it's going to be between the two of them. And ironically, how well Sophie Cunningham does a point guard is going to be affecting Lexie Hull's minutes early-ish in the year at the wing. Because again, if Sophie Cunningham's playing the 1, then Hull's their only real backup wing, because they're probably going to bring in Michaela Timpson rather than Bree Hall. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.